Okay, my name is Dan Capercio, and what is your question?
How did you find religion?
What happened was I ended up having a dissipated life. Started when I was about 16 years old, and it got to the point where the drugs, the alcohol, the bad movies, everything got to the point where I got really sick, and I ended up going to see this movie called The Passion of the Christ. Mel Gibson made, and it had a devastating effect on me.
Were you religious growing up, or were you exposed to it a lot as a child?
I was a cradle, they call it cradle Catholic. So I was brought up Catholic, but as I was confirmed, then I just stopped going to church. And
How does religion carry you today?
oh, I love religion. I'm retired, and I go to daily mass, and it's my whole life. It's my whole life. So I started. Everything that I did from the time I got up in the morning, I wanted to do the best possible. Everything for the good of God, for the glory of God. So no matter what I did at work, at home, I did the best job I could, and I knew God was with me and watching me. And probably the biggest thing that people knew about me was picking up trash along the roads. And I noticed driving around, the churches looked really bad, filthy with litter, so it really bothered me. So I just retired in June of 2012, and I started going to daily mass. And after mass, I started cleaning churches, and it makes me feel good.
What kind of advice would you give people who are looking to find God but have not yet found God? People that are going through a rough patch in their life.
Okay, this is a good one. Okay. When I was touched, I ended up hitting rock bottom in my life. I was really in the gutter of the street. So basically, if you want help from God, He will find you.
So what are certain signs from God you have received based on religion?
Okay, one of the first signs that happened was I was really sick, and like I said, I had a dissipated life. I still kept drinking after I was touched by grace because I really didn't understand what happened. So I started seeking God out, and I heard a voice telling me to go buy rosary beads and to get a certain book called St. Faustina's Diary. This is all Catholic stuff. So I went and bought rosary beads, and I started praying in this corner where I'm sitting right now. And I used to get up like 2 o'clock in the morning for work, and really sick, and I started praying. All of a sudden, this light over here started blinking when I started doing the rosary. And I found it amazing. And so it's one of the first signs that I had of Mary listening to my prayers. And the more I prayed, I started praying for certain members of my family, for my friends. And every time I mentioned somebody's name, this light would blink. So that went on, and then I started getting all different. Like I said, I used to work for Bristol Public Works, and at the landfill, the city dump, all these statues started coming in, and all these signs from God started coming in at all different times within a 5-year span. Pictures, statues, I mean, amazing things that used to blow my mind when I was really down and out and not feeling good. So that's the signs that I had. I just left a prayer service. There was like 40 people, and there's a pulpit. These people were talking, and they were talking about all this whole thing fits my life to a T. But it's called almost a hidden life. they call it Hidden Life now, but then something was said. We're kind of like sitting there praying. People are talking in tongues, and people are, like in a different language.
Oh, really?
Then all of a sudden, this one guy says, "The story of your broken life needs to be told." So that was me. He's talking about this is an incredible story that I'm going to tell you. It's incredible.
Here.
Look at this. Don't worry.
One of your religious experiences, you were saying, is this statue.
Yeah, this beautiful statue of Mary. I didn't even go to this church back then, but I noticed there was a lot of litter around this church and this statue, and it really bothered me. So I started picking up litter around here, and I accidentally touched Mary's hand here, and it fell off. And it really, and this is an expensive statue, so it bothered me. So I went to the Paris Center, and I asked them, I said, look, this hand fell off, I don't know what to do. He says, oh, they fell off again. So, so they told me they would fix it. About 4 days later, I was at the landfill, driving my truck down to Bristol landfill, and all of a sudden, these 3 statues came in with Mary missing a hand on the left side. So I thought that it was amazing.
Those are the statues that you have in your apartment.
Yes, yes, it is.
Get the image of the snake that she's standing on, the snake on the bottom.
Oh yeah, see it?
So this is the church you go to.
Yes, it is.
What kind of experiences have you had here?
When I was really sick, I used to come in here, and right after I was touched by grace, I started coming here by myself, sitting here after work. I was sitting here and I would actually cry because I was so sick. I wanted to be healed. So I would go to confession and come here and go to Mass every now and then and just sit in the back quietly and try and pay attention to what was going on. Eventually, the sickness that I had was, they thought it was possible lupus or maybe Parkinson's disease. And after a while, I started coming to church. I was healed, and the doctor was amazed.
So is this where you pray?
Yes, actually, I come here to church with my mom, and we sit in this pew right here. My mom sits here, and I sit here.
Very
Go
good.
to Sunday Mass, 8:30 Mass. And it feels so good to have your mother sit here with you, you know?
It's a really good feeling to have your own mother here with
Yeah.
you.
Oh, yeah.
Was your mother always religious, or did you get her more into religion?
No, she went to Catholic school. She was always religious. And I think she stopped going for a little while. And then once I started coming to this church, I asked her to come with me, and she did. And we go together. Right, this is where, listen to this. You'll hear it. Actually, you might be able to tape it. Listen to the water. Listen to it. Isn't that nice? It's the holy water. I used to sit in here really sick and just listen to that water. Not like silence. Silence could be your best friend. Look at them windows. Valerie, look at the windows. Aren't they amazing?